Hello everyone and welcome back to the Power Sex Money Pod Talk. My name is Komujini Christabel and I'm your host for today. We are going to be talking about affection versus attention. Now, you may be wondering where we are. I'm going to leave that to Paula. Tell us all about it.
We are at Stone Heavens, Kololo. It's located right on Malcolm X Drive. Now, if you're looking for a place to lounge, during your work day, you're looking for a place to work remotely, or you're looking for a place to have a birthday party, dinner with your friends in the evening, tea, a cup of tea, this is your go-to. They have a beautiful menu. They have beautiful herbal tea. I had it earlier. It was really nice. So this could be your go-to. And of course, today, we're really just going to talk about affection, attention, emotional idolatry.
Come on.
What should we be focusing on? Where should our attention be? Who
are we?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Right? Can't wait for you to see the conversation.
Can't wait to see you. Bye.
So once upon a time, I came across a YouTube channel, right? Mm-hmm. And it was about natural hair. And I remember looking at this girl talking about natural hair like, wow. So I was in the season of my natural hair where it was so hard to manage. And then the natural hair salon I was going to would charge like the more the
Extra.
The more the money, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was so fascinated that she was washing her hair by herself and making it look super easy and all of that. I was like, okay, sis. And then I followed her very closely and realized she had quit her former job to get into an area that, well, now we know she just pivoted, right? But then when I was watching it, I was like, you have nerves.
Yeah. Really.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I said it in the Luganda way, but you know what I mean. So I remember just thinking that is such a bold move. And she was getting into the area of digital content creation and what we like to call influencing.
Come on.
So she's an influencer.
Very
bold move. But she's also an MC and a panel moderator. She does such a wonderful job.
Thank you.
A wonderful job and documents well too. She does such a great job at just facilitating conversations, and I'll leave that generally because she really swings from one end of like fitness to then geopolitics.
Come on.
I'm just like, yes, queen.
Come on.
And at Watoto Church, she serves with the young people at Watoto Church in Tinda, which really the department we know as Morph. Fiona Kenny,
Come
ladies
on.
and gentlemen.
Happy to be here,
We're
guys.
so happy to have
Happy
you.
to have you.
Well-rounded young woman.
Do you understand?
Come on, guys.
Do you understand that
Guys.
you should be practicing law?
What do you mean?
I love it.
And all that. Thank you.
We
Thank
love
you.
that. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure. I'm excited.
We're excited
We're both
too.
excited
so
as well.
I'm going to just say a few scenarios, Christabel too. And then we're just going to pick out which one would rather. Right?
Okay.
So it's a would you rather situation.
Let's do a would you rather. A quick one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So after you share bad news with this person, scenario A immediately replies with the 6 fire emojis and, a whole, you got this, babe.
Desire,
You're literally so strong. Like...
Okay.
and then posts about it on their story. Like, my girl is so... let's go. That's scenario one.
Okay.
Scenario 2, doesn't say much at first. Drops off groceries, like, do you need? And then the next day texts, you don't need to reply, just know I'm here. Which one would you rather?
It's going to be 2 for me. I did acts of service.
I hear that.
The posting part, no? You don't want someone posting about you?
It's not like a requirement for me. I love like me and my sister keep saying like for us the way we gift is very much about what do you need. It's not really, we don't really do luxury gifts. It's not really our thing. Like what do you need? Do you need an air fryer? That's what I'm going to get for you. As opposed to maybe flowers. No beef to flowers. That's just not how we gift.
You just talked about flowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're gonna like this one, but goes silent for 3 days. Okay, then shows up with flowers and has a big apology speak. I'm so sorry, I can't lose you. You're everything to me. Or says they need 2 hours to cool off, but they'll call you later tonight, and then comes back and says, here's what you need to, here's what I have to say.
Ooh. So one
I heard
goes
what you have to say, but here's what I
crazy.
have to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So goes quiet 3 days, comes up with flowers and says, you my everything. I love you.
And, like,
come back
forget
to
about
me.
the drama.
Forget about everything. It's
Yeah.
me and you. Or give me some time. I want to come back and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's gotta be number 2 for me, man.
Okay.
It's gotta be that.
Okay.
I respect that thing of just like stepping back to fast process, because sometimes when you respond in the moment, you don't know. Like you could go off
That's true.
and regret.
Yeah,
So,
right? You could say things you don't want.
Yeah.
Birthday,
Ooh.
right? I think, I don't know a woman who doesn't love. Do you love your birthday?
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah,
I think some people like it more than
You're
me.
on the
but,
birthday.
I'm
You
all
guys
right.
are the
love your
birthday.
birthday?
You are the birthday.
No, don't say that.
You are the birthday.
Okay, so your birthday plans nothing in advance, but when you post photos, they comment icon and repost everything, and like,
Okay.
like, oh my goodness, a queen was born. Versus remembers your least favorite cake flavor from a conversation 8 months ago,
Okay.
and avoids it. Gives you
Okay.
a book you mentioned once.
I think number 2.
Number
It's
2.
like-
Guys, what?
Is it even a...
Please.
No,
do we even
we're
do
not
that?
even weighing
I can't
that
debate
one.
there, bam.
We're not weighing that one. Should we do one more?
Let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's do one more. Let's say this one is a bit. We talked about LinkedIn a few minutes ago. Yeah. So he screenshots your LinkedIn post and sends it to 5 group chats, right?
Okay.
And he says, "That's my person."
Yes.
That's my person.
Okay.
Or he asks you 3 specific questions about the project over dinner, over a project that you're doing.
Yeah.
And then he didn't post, he didn't bring it up, but he promotes it 2 weeks later.
Number 2 sounds thoughtful.
But now, guys, everyone number 2. You guys are pick number 2 every round.
Yeah, because I feel like
It sounds more thoughtful to me.
why is number 2 more?
I don't know. Like, I think because I've experienced number 1, and it was more a thing of I don't know. It was a pride of the person I'm with shines, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it was not well intentioned. It was more of like, oh, look at the person I'm dating.
Like a
They're
trophy
even
instead of like a
sparkling more than
person.
yours.
Yeah.
And then the other one
Trophy
is like,
wife.
Trophy
you care enough to
wife.
read about the thing and ask me questions about it and engage about
hear
it.
that.
I feel like that's more meaningful somehow.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
weird is like I feel like so many people would rather be like the trophy.
Yeah.
Like they want to be shown because they don't have the security to just be.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So,
Listen.
and I feel that because I think also it's you've seen that thing going around of in Kampala, if your partner doesn't post you,
Oh, you're in the relationship alone.
then you might be
You're
in the
there alone.
relationship alone.
I hate that there's all those blanket things of
Yeah.
like, if you're not posted, that
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
Really?
Is it the truth? It's really not. Yeah.
Anyway.
So for purposes of this conversation,
Yeah.
only for purposes of this conversation, allow me to throw a contrast between attention and affection.
Okay.
It's please just for
Just for the
purposes
conversation.
of this conversation, and I'm going to define attention as the home and the I'm here, I'm
Big
doing all
out
things,
loud.
flowers and whatnot, and affection being the steady, fun. You might not even notice I like you, but like I'm there. I'm there when you're thinking of the people that which in my mind is also problematic a bit, but like you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And just quickly off the top of your heads, both of you, visible you two,
Yes, ma'am.
which one would you rather? Would you rather someone who is there and like gives you all this attention, or like quiet, calm? I don't know. I might need to ask you, what are your intentions?
I
for me
think
to know
that's
that you like me.
that's a very interesting one.
I struggle with
both.
questions like that because it's just so. I don't know that there's an either or in that situation because I don't know. It's like what I was telling you earlier. I mean, someone can be affectionate and not mean it. They can pay you attention and not really value you deeply. So I don't know that I can pick one or the other
Yeah.
because we are complex.
Yes, we are.
We're rarely one thing or the other.
That's very true.
So I feel like I can't.
pick.
Yeah.
At this age of 36, I don't think I can just say affection, attention.
Yeah.
It's just, no,
exactly.
I can't do
'Cause
it.
also, there's a way in which someone who deeply loves you is not going to struggle paying attention to you. It's like
Talk
Am I
about
right?
it.
you're
Talk
going to pay
about
attention to
it.
someone you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one would you rather?
I think
Christina?
for me, for the longest time, it would have been, attention. But that was because I was not insecure in me. I was insecure in who I was and where I stood. Now, I think I lean towards what Fiona said exactly. Because it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It can't be. It just can't be put apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
It's all love.
it's all love. Me, I just want to be truly loved, like Christ loved the church.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay, so let's talk about this thing called feelings.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of the things we've spoken about are targeting how we feel, emotions, and all of that.
Right.
And when Fiona and I were talking earlier, we said something about idolatry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how, without knowing it, your emotions can become great idols.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, even without you noticing. So I went ahead and looked up the definition, dictionary definition of emotional idolatry. It's the theological and psychological state where feelings, emotions, or personal desires take precedence over truth and God's authority, functioning as the ultimate driver of life.
Come on.
That's it.
Now, in our dating scene today, our generation,
The way you're saying our
I know we're
generation.
a different generation, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
but that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Still, I think that we have very many things, in
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
So there's like a magnification
Of feelings.
Of feelings.
100%.
I must feel a certain way.
Follow your heart.
Ooh,
Fiona,
that one,
Let me
by
tell
the
you
way.
something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Gather round, young people, because
Yeah.
follow your heart is one of the lies
Yeah.
Yeah.
that we have like embraced. It feels like it sounds like a beautiful thing, right? Like your heart is leading you, go. But the word is so clear about the heart. The heart is
It is
deceptive.
deceitful. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
Who can
deceitful.
find?
It's
Yeah.
like who can trust it? And yet the world is telling you, man, follow your heart.
Yeah.
Do what you like.
Yeah.
You know, just feel what is making you happy.
Yeah.
And I think it always, some of this, if the word is like where you're trying to base your life, your foundation, I think we have to always go back like to it.
Yeah.
Because and go back to the beginning, because the gospel is not just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's the entire testimony of the Bible that leads us then to the saving
Yeah.
grace of Christ. Because even in the garden, Eve, the serpent lied to Eve, hey, you'll get the knowledge of good and evil, and it sounded dope. She's like, that could be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
That could be fun to the exception. Like in that moment, it's like she forgot.
Yeah.
She forgot that God loved her so much that he knew that this
must
thing,
have been wise,
this
yeah.
thing, I want to keep you away from
That's
it. Like
so real.
boundaries are actually love.
Yeah.
I actually
And
have a
so
question for you on that.
Feelings.
Yeah.
So when we choose feelings, it's like you're choosing something that feels nice and happy and flowy in that moment. But what it exposes you to, I
It's
wish it will break you in ways I can't explain. I feel like one of the things I've shared often is about how I think from like the age of 17, because that was when I had like an actual boyfriend, like my first actual boyfriend.
Period. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before then there were those
That's
things of guys like you,
Yeah.
or blah,
17 is
blah,
good.
pretending.
Essex?
Yes,
Essex.
Essex.
Okay.
Six.
Okay, that's
Five-ish.
decent.
Five,
Five-ish,
six,
six.
yeah.
Six-ish, okay.
Yeah, that was when I had my first boyfriend. And from that time up to here in my early 30s, I have dated back to back, serial monogamists over here. Recovering serial monogamists over
it
here.
because I get you.
Back to back.
I get you.
In the
Yeah.
window would just open like this. Shoo! There's someone waiting to enter the door.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, look, yes. And people would be like, oh my God, you're such an emotional girl. And it would make me feel like as if, I'm so young.
Yeah.
I just care so much.
Yeah.
I just care. But now, looking back, I understand it was actually selfish. It was self-facing.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the other people.
No.
It was about
About
how I
you.
wanted to feel. I wanted to be held in a certain way.
Yeah.
I wanted to be called scent flowers. I wanted to be that chick. And because I wanted that so much, I left the door open to all
anyone.
sorts of random
I have a
stuff.
question for you there, Fiona, actually. When we talk about relationships, I
Yeah.
feel like most of the time, people have been taught that as women, I want to just say as women, in this scenario,
Yeah.
we're made to be like wives, From our little age, was like, you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to, for your husband, right?
Right.
And sometimes...
material.
Wife material, exactly.
That's
Sometimes that's not what God has in mind for you. And in that time, how do you find stability and security in Jesus as just you and him and not needing any other kind of love? Because that's so hard, man. As you said, you want to be loved, you want to be held, you want the flowers, you want the, the
Yeah.
extravagant. How are you at peace? How do you get to a place where it's just like, you know what, me and Jesus, it's me and Jesus, and that's okay.
I think that's sparking my curiosity though, Christabel.
Please.
Is you seem to have like this experience from which you're speaking.
Yeah.
Which is why even, as you draw the light on how you're finding stability with Jesus alone, I think I'm also curious about what
We want to know. Yeah.
what's that
We wanna
challenge?
know.
Sis? Like, you
think
seem to have this.
There's definitely, I never want it to sound like there's a formula, like this is the steps, the 3 steps to
7
to
principles.
the healing of the spirit. I don't have them. If they're there, I don't have them.
Don't have them.
What I will say is coming to Jesus and allowing him to be my definition, like allowing him to define me. Like, who does God say I am? Because a lot of the time the decisions we make that are wrong, they just come from, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you say I am this. I don't believe that you say like the things that he says, like I don't believe that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I don't believe that you're my friend. I don't actually believe those things, and so I show up in a different way in my life. So when I started to allow Jesus to define me, one of the things I had to investigate was my feelings, right? Because I was just all over the place. My feelings were just all over. They were defining so many decisions for me, especially romantically. And so I have come to understand, and I'm still understanding. It's a journey, I think, probably my entire life. I don't know that we ever really figure everything out. I've come to understand that feelings, I mean, they're a gift from God, by the way, because sometimes they're expressions of literal things, like maybe this tea could burn me and I cry. That's a genuine, truthful thing that has happened. But feelings at the same time can support an illusion. They can support delusion, right? So you have to be able to ask questions of your emotions. Like, ask questions. One of the practices we don't do enough is pause. Like, can you pause before you make a response? That space between stimuli and response is actually, that's the Lord right there. If you can allow the Lord to like work in that space in between, you can show up in a very different way. So I don't have the formula, but I think that God is allowing me to understand how he sees me better. And as he allows me that privilege, like I also have to keep like every day going back and being like, so that, what does this mean? What does this mean? So every time I go back, he allows me to see something new. He allows me to see something new. And I think that it's I think one of the things that hurts me is like, when you see these videos online of like, there's like a church somewhere, babes have gone in gowns and they're praying for husbands. And then you see the comments and people...
Table, you're shaking.
Listen, and people, the comments are so negative. Hey, the women, oh, you're so desperate. I'm like, but what else would they be? If we've been raised to aspire to be a wife, to fit in like the mold. So then what else would I be desiring for? Of course they're going to show up like that. So it pains me when you don't have like empathy for them, because they're coming from a very genuine place. And I pray for them to find the healing in the fact that God, that story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego inspires me so much. I go back to it often because, what they said is that, God, I know God can do it. But even if he doesn't,
come on,
I know who he is. He has not changed. He's the same God who has loved me through a million things. So if he decides that I'm not going to have a husband, it must be for my good. It doesn't take away from the desire. I want a partner. I'm like, Jesus, by the way, I know you can give me your best. But even if you decided not to,
you're still God.
You're still good, you're still kind, you're still... Jesus died. Like, the facts are the
gospel is still about the resurrection.
That's it.
So there's... you said, and I like that you're not denying that there's a desire. Right?
Absolutely,
Because also we can easily swing to the extreme of like, I'm fine alone, I'm good. It's not true. So how... I think I want to hear a story of what the cost of relying on your emotions was. Was there a time you made decisions, maybe dating, maybe not, and followed your emotions and all, and then saw the cost of it? Something that has led you to this steadfast identity in Christ.
I feel like, I don't know that there is one story. What comes to my mind is just the fact that so like there was a time when like relationships really defined who I was. I was whoever I was with at that time. Like it was so definitive of whatever was happening in my life, and it continued for so long. Like it was, the devil attacks you with things you already know. It's not new stuff. It's the stuff that you think, no, I've got this. It's the stuff So for me it was relationships, like this, back-to-back relationships. And what I found is that because I was depending so much on feelings, whatever he was deciding is what was driving us. Right? He wants to have sex, that's where we're going. Even if you've started, may the Lord release us from this delusion of thinking that you can be with someone who is not abstaining and they abstain with you. Forget about it.
shackles.
Forget about it.
Can we just share a second
Shackles,
microphone
yeah.
to say
As
that?
in,
Yeah.
as in
If you're not
second mic,
aligned.
listen, it's not going to work.
It's not
like
gonna
it's just,
work.
and,
I like
and there's
it.
a natural leadership that men have.
Yep.
Yeah.
That often for us we will.
Follow,
We just
we'll submit.
submit to, yeah.
You will find. Just,
Especially if it's good leadership.
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Like,
Sometimes even if it's good leadership,
like and it's not like the guy can be nice, generally
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
treating you nicely, doing nice things for you, but like if he's not on that path with you, off you go. And it's such a sex is so, what does it do? Like it binds you and
Yeah.
clouds you in a way I can't even start to explain. Like it is crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
out here. So I can't say it's one story or the other, but I've seen how in my relationships that I've had, it's when I let feelings lead, I ended up being led by a person, not the Lord.
Come
I would
on.
start on this place of, no, me, I believe in the Lord, this, da, 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 da. But then someone
then,
makes
yeah.
me feel good
And you're like,
about
ooh,
myself.
Not touching, okay?
Hey,
A few
Mokwano.
months later.
Let me tell a month, few hours later,
girl.
it's like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? So I've just seen how it can, not just to sex, but to so many things, you guys. Sex, alcohol, you guys. The things that relationships have like just cornered me into, because it was
a
all
lot.
about the feelings. Like I wanted to feel a certain way, and I was looking for it in that person, which is even unfair, because who's
Yeah.
going to hold you like
They
that?
don't have
Ain't
the-
nobody.
Who's going to hold you like
Ain't
that except
nobody.
Jesus?
Yeah.
So it's that. It's that.
I just
Wow.
want to just tap into that, coming from a place of like just following, if that makes sense. How do you just stand in your standards? Like how do you stand in what you believe in?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that comes with a sense of security that
Yeah.
is so hard to like navigate. Like how
Also,
do you
I
get to a
think
point where it's
expound
just
on that,
standing? Yeah.
It would be nice for you to give us like, I know there's no 5 steps and all, but you know when you're hurting, I don't know, have you ever been the thing is paining you?
But by the way, yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
really pinching.
Too many moments.
And you're hearing people say, just surrender to Jesus. Just, and you're like, how?
How?
Let me
do I
talk to
do
that person, because I remember going through like a really difficult breakup, and the person who ministered to me was Hannah. Hannah in the Bible, that girl ministered to me, because I had never noticed it. You know how the word keeps changing even as you read it, like you
Yeah.
find new things. I had never realized that after, because she's in this place in her life, she can't have children, and in that time, like in the context of her time, children was the thing that gave you the most honor.
Yes.
Like that was esteem. Without it, you were nothing.
Nothing.
Right? And so that was the tension of her existence at that time, and aggravated by the fact that her co-wife Penina was also, so
having
it was such
children.
like she was in like a state of tension.
Yeah.
And then she goes to God and like pours out her heart the way she did. And the word says that when she left, she was no longer downcast. Her circumstances had not changed.
No.
But the Lord lifted her burden,
Yeah.
gave her joy. That meal that she was able to sit down for after, it wasn't that she was generally not eating. She couldn't eat that meal with her heart in that position because it was sacred.
Yeah.
So God literally lifted the burden of her pain
Girl.
and gave her joy, in spite of, regardless. And that exactly is what happened to me in that breakup. I remember I sat on my carpet on New Year's and cried. I said, God, you take this feeling of like as if a tunnel,
Everything is falling
you know?
apart. Yeah.
And God took it. I know it sounds mystical, but literally God will come and take those things away from you. And another thing is people. People will hold you in a way you didn't even expect. One of the things I was telling my friends recently is getting back into like church community and stuff, just joining cell and all of that has given me an opportunity to make male friends in a way I hadn't in a very long time. It had been a long time. Like brothers, literal
Brothers in
brothers. Like people
Christ.
who, people will be telling you, by the way, where are you? Have you been picked? Let me come and pick you. And like they're even setting a standard for how I should be treated. And not just even by a partner, but even with friends, like actual friendship. So people... And
so
people,
important.
accountability.
That wasn't possible before.
It was not possible. It was isolating,
Yeah.
Even just like the protection. I don't know if we understand the protection, like just being in fellowship
cover.
gives you.
Yeah.
Like for those of us who live alone, nobody's looking for you. You can be out in the
nobody.
streets anytime you want. You can be out here in the streets.
Yeah.
So there's a protection that community gives you, that this is how I spend my time, this is where I go, there's someone I speak to in a certain way. It'll change so
so
many things. I
important.
cannot recommend community enough. It has changed
Yeah.
so much for me. I actually joined cell first before I went back to church.
Wow.
And it did it. I keep telling
Yeah.
those guys they're my testimony. Period.
Hello to you, Fiona Cell members.
Guys,
well done.
thank you.
Thank you. I love that. And I always say this every time I'm given an opportunity. It's easy to think that friendships happen naturally. You know, we have that kind of obsession of like, let it be organic. I remember having to pray about friendships.
Yep.
And I'll say
Oh,
that
girl,
for as long as
same.
I can. Like,
Ooh.
God, can you just
Please
give me
help
friends? You know?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if I tell you the Lord has answered that prayer
Girl.
over and above.
Yeah.
And the last 10 or so years
Yeah.
have been truly beautiful only because I have good community. So
Amen.
I relate with you on
I get
that.
that. I get that.
So when you were speaking, I was thinking a lot about this relying on guys and the need to get into relationships. Did you ever identify where it came from? Why were you like that?
I feel like the first thing I'll say is, guys, in your free time, go to therapy. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that to the exclusion of Jesus. I feel like sometimes when we talk about therapy, people are saying exclude Jesus. I think that therapy is a beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
it's Jesus and.
Yeah, like it's together. I struggle to imagine that therapy didn't even come from Jesus, who has given us the
it did.
gift
Yeah.
of understanding,
It did.
these
Yeah.
things. So therapy did a lot for me. I feel like the details are a little bit more intimate than I would like to get into, but there were places in which I was lacking in the way I was connecting. And it started from childhood. Like there's this exercise I remember we did in therapy called helicopter. And like me now sort of hovers above the little me in certain
Oh, no.
instances, certain
That sounds
things.
painful.
Yeah, certain like pivotal moments in my life.
that sounds
To be able to
painful.
see that, Fiona, and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I understand why you thought you needed to find that affection in men because of certain things that happened to you,
Happened to
certain
you.
experiences that you had that morphed the way you see things. And it's painful, but man, it will change you. It
I
will
love that.
if you decide, by the way, God can help you, and you'll actually feel yourself changing. And I feel like I have to say, one of the challenges of existing in this time of ours is that in things like therapy and self-help, when you take those things like apart from Jesus, it's something
It's a
different.
problem.
It's
Something
chaotic.
different.
Yeah.
It is very me facing. It's self-love. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't love yourself, but it's very I facing, because the way we are set up is facing ourselves. That's the way
Yeah.
we're coming to the world. Love is actually the hard thing.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And the God we serve is love. Like for him, he has existed in community from the beginning. The word was with God, and as in, he has always existed in community. So for us, we come into the world thinking of ourselves. It's why even children have that, that selfishness of like, but for me, I want
I
to be.
want
It's the way.
this, yeah.
Love is the harder thing, and we can't do it apart from God.
Yeah.
So when therapy is what we are now calling new age spirituality and stuff is
Yeah.
telling you, you are the master of your fate. You are the one to make you there.
It's you.
It looks good. It looks good. But only for a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Only for a time. There's a place that you can't feel with that me. There's a place it stops. Like I know. I've seen it.
Yeah.
There's a place where that's it. You just can't replace it.
I genuinely speaking, that's actually so deep because it's been a thing that has moved around for so long.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people messed up by it. Like there's a point where you actually can't save yourself. You literally can't save yourself
Yeah.
in any way. So if you keep looking inward, you get nowhere.
Yeah.
But our time is almost over. Guys, I know. I am so sorry. I am always the one doing this, but our time is almost over. But before we go, I just want you to speak to anyone that has a hard time just allowing God to love them.
Yeah.
And just being by themselves and just accepting that time with Jesus.
Yeah.
Just speak life into them right now, because I know that there are a couple of you watching. Please listen. This is for you. Fiona, please take it away.
No
Please.
pressure, but I feel like what I want young women to know, or maybe even older women, I don't know, is that God has designed everything to be very different. He has given us all these good gifts, but these gifts, to the exclusion of Him, become bad, can
Adults.
become bad
Yeah.
things, can become difficult things, can become, you're holding on to it like as if it's your anchor, it's the one that you're going
idol.
to clutch,
Yeah.
and yet it doesn't have the power to save you. So I pray we can submit. Like my hope for you is to submit to surrender utterly to God, because He will meet you in that place, and it won't always look the way you think.
Yeah.
Remember earlier I was telling you, like, comfort is not the call.
It's really
Come on.
not.
Can you just say that one more
It's
time?
not.
Just one more time. Please.
Comfort is not the call.
Yep.
Yeah.
The word is very clear. You guys, we serve a suffering servant.
Yo,
you know,
man
a
of
man
sorrows.
of sorrows.
Hey.
You know, someone who understands the pain. In fact, the pain he experiences is something most of us will never see
We'll
it.
never
We'll
ever
never ever
experience,
experience it. So just even by virtue of the life he lived, there will be trouble in this. We will have problems, as in we will suffer in this world, but there is a way to suffer well.
Oh.
There's a way to suffer well. God can give you the grace to show up in a way that you didn't expect.
Come on.
That discomfort doesn't have to be why you fall apart, because He'll hold you even in that discomfort. He requires it of us, but then He gives us the tools.
Yeah.
He gives us the tools to suffer well. I pray that even discomfort is not something that you fight. You know, embrace, by the way, the feeling of, today I've come from church, I'm lonely.
Ooh.
That's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you need to be able to feel these things and give them to Jesus and be like, by the way, feeling a bit lonely today, and He will meet you in that place. And if you need to cry, you cry your things. But discomfort can only grow you, and your desire to get married, your desire to find friends, your desire, whatever desires you have are valid. Actually, let no one confuse you that, oh my God, because you said you desire a husband, it's desperate, or because these are good things. They are gifts.
Yeah.
They are gifts.
You don't do it.
Submit those desires to God, because I mean, honestly, if the world is telling us that because you're unmarried somehow you're not worthy of something, you go back to the word. Does it mean that Jesus failed in His ministry?
No.
Does it mean, as indeed, those guys all failed because they didn't find marriage?
They did
it is
not.
a good and perfect gift. It is amazing. But go back to those boys, those Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego guys. Even if you don't do it,
Come what may.
even if you don't,
My
you're
hope
still
is to
God.
be,
Like, God loves you. Return often to what God says about you. The world is telling us so many things. It's telling you you're this, you're too old. But like, it's telling you 1,001 things. But what God tells you is the truth. Who God tells me I am?
That's
that one
everything.
is the real one, and it will hold you in certain ways that you can't understand. And don't isolate. I feel like I have to say that one so much because I relate to it so deeply. Do not allow to just be alone. Don't do it. People will hold you, and the right people, but again, find people who are not going to lead you also astray, banage, because they also,
Get back to what you're fighting.
those ones are there. So I pray you submit. There is so much good to be found in the kingdom. There's so much good to be found. Even just like you as a person, you have so many good and excellent things to give. I can't remember where in the word it says, but you know that single people have the opportunity to be anxious about ministry.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to be anxious about ministry, and there is joy. There is joy, you guys, to be found in ministry too. I keep saying, like, the moments when I talk to young people and they confide in, you guys, that day,
Thank you,
I'm
Jesus.
unstoppable. Actually, you can't tell me anything. It is like, oof. It's giving, you know.
I love
So
it. Yeah.
I feel like, that's the thing. And just don't be afraid of discomfort. Don't do it. Don't allow to be afraid of discomfort. It is a necessary part of growth.
I
Wow.
love it.
It is.
And
Wow.
I think if there's anything I've taken away from this conversation is that discomfort is not a bad thing. And just because you truly desire affection and attention and all of that, that's okay. But like, where are you surrendering it?
Yeah.
How are you even talking about it? Is it a thing you've recognized and you say, why do I love affection? I love what you said about the sitting in uncomfortable emotions, and you know, there's how people like to talk about your single time, right? Saying that whole thing of go hiking. I'm just like, those are distractions. Actually, sometimes allow to sit there and define, you know, I love that. Thank
Amen.
you, Fiona.
You're
This has been valuable.
This has genuinely been one of my favorite conversations
I agree.
today.
Same.
And I know that so many people are going to be blessed. I know you guys, please listen to the end, because if you missed this, yay. I don't know what you're doing. But it's been such a pleasure. It's been such an honor. It's always an honor with you,
Hosting
girl.
you. I know.
Always. And it
Small
was,
thing.
yeah, girl. And it was so nice to meet you,
Same
Kimmy.
here. So it's been
So we're
beautiful.
gonna say bye. Bye, guys.